Well, welcome race fans to Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix, brought to you by the International Racing League. This is our double points season finale. Lots still to play for. Double points, of course, for both driver and constructor championships. However, the one thing that is not in doubt is that Merck the Merciless is our new world champion. I'm hoping he might give us some entertainment today and attempt to start from the back, but we shall see. It's difficult to get a racing driver to do that, but with 11 Grand Prix victories from 12 starts and 15 official Grand Prix for the season, he has 11 wins, 1 second place, only dropped one position from his maximum so far. He has qualified on pole 9 times this season. He has 5 fastest laps and 328 points following the Australian Grand Prix last time out. In second place, with his final chance to beat our new champion Merckx on track tonight, is Ricky Marou. He has 2 wins to his names of his 13 starts, 9 second places. I think the majority of those were coming second to Merckx, of course. 1 pole position, 4 fastest laps and 245 points. It's been a bit of a 2-horse race, this championship, but your double world champion from seasons 1 and 2, Moist, has 2 Grand Prix wins to his name, 1 second place, 4 podiums, 1 pole, 1 fastest lap and 160 points as things stand. But like I say, 2 times points today. In fourth place is Milan on 149. AJ has 2 third places to his name and 140 points. He could leapfrog Milan today with a good result. Speedy Spud is in that 6th position on 124, and then a bit of a gap to Alf Ralex on 85. Ole on 75, joint with Bjorn de Boer. Newcomer joint, only 8 races each of those 2 drivers and on equal points at this point. Sticky has 42 points. Leon has 39. Marco 33. Floyd Pink 29. Nike or Davey or son of Chuck Norris has 22. And then Entronsic has 20. Atsu joint with Unsku, who's only scored once this season but came in second place, so has 18 points to his name, Unsku, and Chuck Norris has 17. Then Ivan Beloff 6, Smoke 4, Respond 2, and no points yet for Urchin. Let's get you some information on screen that's important, and I imagine that it's AJ out in front as usual. Let's just have a quick look then at, is it AJ out there? Absolutely. First out on track is AJ. In the Constructors' Championship, as things stand, VCARB have 385 ahead of Kick Sauber on 346. So anything other than an absolute disaster should crown VCARB as the champions, as we about to start a pole position attempt then on board with ARL. We have Aston Martin on 193, Haas on 163, Williams on 151, and McLaren on 117, Ferrari 85, Mercedes 79, and Red Bull 46 points. Going down to 4th gear, ARL in the first corner. In time trial, the drivers can tackle that in 6th gear. Red Bull have 46 points, Alpine 38 to finish out the final order for everybody as we go up the snake then, uphill through the fairly constant radius corners through Dunlop and into Degner 1 and through into Degner 2, dropping all the way down to 3rd gear because the track is very green at this stage of qualifying. And then we go through and around the Kobayashi hairpin. Melon says, what position am I? I just joined. Just remind me of your gamer tag, please, there, Melon. Or just join the stream, you said. No rain for the race. Thank you. That's great to hear. As ARL goes through Spoon, corners 1 and 2, powers out down the back stretch under the Qatar Airways sign and heads towards 130R. Beyond a Board. Well, you may have to hit rewind on the live stream to get that. I will try and find it for you. Bjorn, you are in position. Well, you have 75 points, level with Bjorn, and I think that leaves you 7th or 8th at the time. That is Atsu. That is ARL in on a 191 129.630, a 130.3 for Atso. And we've got some faster drivers on track at the moment. How is Ricky Moreau doing through in the V-Carb as well? He goes across the Casio triangle out of the last curve, appropriately named, and puts in a 128.506. Just for context here, I spent a week time trialing on this game. Not a solid week, but 2 or 3 sessions, and my best was a 129.5. So, and a high 129.5 at that. So these drivers on their first flying lap with the pressure of qualifying are doing tremendously, and their fast laps are mega. And just to illustrate that even more, a 27.9 from Unsku on his first flying lap is amazing. It's an overcast day here in Suzuka, but we're not expecting any rain. The faintest glint of some sunshine just came through. Merckx managed a 128.7, nearly 0.3 of a second slower than Ricky Moreau on the first lap. No moist today, and I'm surprised to see that no moist, as he's trying to defend that 3rd position in the championship. But if a double world champion, sometimes not so fussed about finishing the season on a high and trying to get anything other than the big trophy at the end. Here comes Milan, and he is fighting for higher positions in the championship. That's P5, a 129.1 out there for Williams at this stage. We've got Floyd Pink on a hot lap in the Red Bull. I don't know if Jessica is watching just yet. Sometimes she shows up just at the end of qualifying, but big supporter of Floyd Pink. And of course the established veterans of International Racing League, Jessica is always keen to see a good result from. None of these new-coming high-scoring drivers. It's all about the traditions for Jessica, I think, as Floyd Pink goes through 130R. DRS, short stab of DRS should be enabled down towards the Casio triangle, just to stop the drivers from using it through 130R. And we come out of the last curve and hug the pit wall if we can. And Floyd Pink, a 129.3 for his first lap. Bjorn Burr is out. We've seen him, Epic Melon Fruit, in live chat. And he is out in the Mercedes, rocking that. I think that's the default helmet, so hasn't adjusted his helmet just yet. Underneath the overpass for the second half of the track as we head down towards that hairpin. Try and get the car as straight as you can on the wide angle, especially for the qualifying. But you do have to be conscious of drivers coming at you if they've had a better run through the Degnas in the race. Into Spoon 1, you can just be distant from the apexes through Spoon, but you do need to maximise your throttle application through Spoon 2. And Beyond the Ball then is just an outlap at this point, but Speedy Spud has started a hot lap on the soft tyres. We'll probably see drivers killing the soft tyres through this fast lap, because the track is a very challenging one for the drivers and tyres. And there, just to illustrate it, Speedy Spud going sideways. He's going to have to bail this lap, I think. He may elect to put in a banker at this early stage of qualifying, but that one not great, so we probably won't see him feature high up. Ricky Moreau stops in the live chat to say, going to be hard to defend the constructors. I'm so slow here, talking down his chances today. I said, is it going to be the W today on your final opportunity before the race? And he said, no, it's not. So he's not feeling the hype. He's not feeling the love for Suzuka in this current iteration of F1 24 at least. And I'm sure he'll be looking forward to blowing off some steam in his own League of Destruction. Details of that to be announced soon, I'm sure. Speedy Spud coming out of Spoon 2 then, and heading down. Looks like he is using the boost, so he's happy to put in a banker lap here. You never know what's going to happen to other drivers through qualifying. You can get disqualification, so it's good to set that first lap, and then at least you know where you can push. And every time you get on track, you'll be green. And that was an interesting thing I learned watching the F1 SimRacing Championship, was the drivers will go round for the first lap in qualifying and just run on inters, so that their second run, the delta says green for the entire thing. and it's just a psychological boost for them. It's like an installation lap, but they just like to wear in a set of inters just so that they can have that psychological boost of their first flying lap. That is Bjorn de Boer with the Mercedes straight into second place on a 1:28.2. Really good lap. Just blocking the pit lane entry, though. He's going to have to be careful not to slow too much, but getting completely off the circuit for driver coming down the outside. I think that might have been Merckx. It was Merckx going through turn 1 and 2. So let's ride with Merckx the Merciless as he chases down Unsku's pole position provisionally, a 1:27.934. An impressive lap time, and Merckx some 0.8 of a second away from that at this stage. He looks like he won't be doing a last to first challenge unless he decides to peel off to the side at the start of the race. 0.3 of that 0.8 have already been collected by Merckx into the first sector. Let's hear him through the hairpin. That's a lock-up. Little kiss to the apex, early part of the corner, and straightens up the car to run on out over the hill. I've just been commentating this game in this same track in GT7, coincidentally, and that is set as a 4-sector racetrack in GT7, so it always throws me coming between the two sim platforms. Arguably slightly better elevation from the engine box perspective on F123 and F124, but that perhaps the only thing that it has to say for itself in terms of realism against Gran Turismo, in my personal opinion. Down towards the pit wall goes Merckx, and that's a second place. Didn't quite do it, 8.5 and 4 thousandths from that provisional pole held by Unsku at this stage. Racing for the solo Aston Martin with no Marco and no Moist. I'm not quite sure where the two drivers are today. I was expecting to see Moist at very least. 11 drivers will tackle qualifying. Looks like we will have a maximum of 11 in the race as well, unfortunately. Ricky Marou might be on track at the moment, and he has indeed, but he's ruined this lap particularly, so looks like it'll be riding with Atsu, Merck's teammate. Merck's been doing the heavy lifting in the championship, but every point Atsu collects today is going to be very important. He runs wide, though, unnecessarily. That might have just been possibly a little lack of focus there from Atsu, but what could have been here on his current lap? Well, it was a slow one anyway, so into the pits with 6 minutes on the clock. These laps do tick. These long laps do tick us through the qualifying very quickly. Ricky has ruined that set of tyres, so into the pits he comes. He'll be back out again soon, I imagine, and it looks like ARL is gunning through the Degners. Under the overpass we go. 6th place at the moment for ARL. He's come back. He's missed one of his favourite tracks, and he's come to one of his least favourite, so it seems. But you never know how you compare to everybody else on a new day. So a positive frame of mind usually paying dividends. Into Spoon Corner we go. That was a good amount of speed into Spoon 1. Slightly collecting the car through Spoon 2 on the left, trying to hit the apex. Not quite there. Not quite at 1 with the car. Maybe the soft tyres already ruined. Now you want to just tickle the steering wheel around 130R, the minimum input possible, while drifting towards the left-hand side. That was so aggressive through the final apex. Really good from ARL. Will it pay dividends on his lap time? It will into P4. A really good position then for VCarb here, but provisionally to start P3 and 4. Certainly, that is a really good set of times there. A 28.2 and a 29.7 for Ricky Marou. It's the other way around, 27.9 as the same time almost there for all three top drivers. That is a phenomenally close 1, 2, 3 at this stage. Floyd Pink's on track with 4.5 minutes to go and powering through the snake at the start of the lap. Just the sun in the eyes slightly. You wouldn't believe there's any sun available, so the driver's looking at the sky at this point, but occasionally you do catch a glimpse of that of the lens flare on the camera. Took a lot of apex through Degner 2, slowed him slightly through the corner, but he was able to get down on the power quite smoothly. That is good through the hairpin for Floyd Pink. And he'll be looking now at Spoon Corner. Line of least resistance to the 50-metre board. Brake just after the 50-metre board and drop a gear or two into Spoon 1, powering out into Spoon 2. And at the moment, only one driver have I beaten while time trialling in my recent attempts here for a competition that hopefully you'll see some more footage of and information from later in the month. Here comes Floyd Pink then from P9. Will we jump up to P7? Yes, 29.0. Great time from Floyd Pink as Ricky Marou is on an outlap. Davey Norris, son of Chuck Norris, is on the track at the moment, just getting out of the way of the only Williams in the field, Milan here, who gets past and is pretty pleased to deal with a slow car at that point of the circuit while you're flat out, and they've got plenty of time. That was a big distraction though for Milan to see the Alpine come down the right hand side of the track on the way into the pits. Slow lap then from Milan, but maybe this one will be a little bit better for him. 29.1 is for Milan, as we've got a big spread between the front half and the back half of the field, top and bottom half I should say really. Speedy Spud not feeling particularly well today, and we hope Speedy Spud feels better, so no surprises to see him at the back. He's going to hang in as long as his health will allow, he said, but don't be surprised if he can't sit out the whole race. But down at the back of the grid for Haas at the moment, but he's looking for those important World Championship points, and very close to a points finish. We have 11 starters. The top 10 will score double points today. No points, though, for 11th position, so all to play for. As the outlaps begin for the drivers, we'll see Milan through to his second sector, and then we'll join, I think, Ricky Marou and see where he is, because he won't be happy starting third. He wants to be right up there at the front of the grid for the start of this final opportunity to get a win ahead of Merckx the Merciless, our new Season 3 champion. It's a fairly slow lap again from Milan, unfortunately. This is Ricky then winding through the snake and looking for his first sector time now. It's plus 1.265, so it's a warm-up lap for the soft tyres. I will stop getting excited. He's actually going to be one of the last ones through the final sector, because he's still got a minute on the clock before the checkered flag falls. He should cross the line comfortably as long as nothing gets in his way on here. How's Atsu doing? Another invalidation, unfortunately for Atsu, a 29.2 for him. He's drained the battery. He's going to cross the line. He'll have no battery left to run on this particular run through, as Unscoot starts now with 45 seconds on the clock. Unscoot goes through to try and extend his lead here. It's only 4 thousandths of a second, his current lead. He's got just Dunlop here to go before the next timing update, just as you're hitting the brakes for Degner 1. If you do, sometimes the drivers just lift through here. 77 thousandths slower than his previous lap for Unscoot. Let's see Merckx through the same sector, shall we? Don't get excited about that timing gap at the top of the screen. It's inaccurate. It's showing from his previous lap. This is then Merckx. Remember, 77 up on the time was Unscoot. 45 down on time is Merckx, and Ricky Marou will come through the same sector in a moment. But how's Unscoot doing then as he approaches the second timing sector? Here he goes to cross over the line. That's nearly 0.3 of a second better off than he was before. It didn't catch Ricky's latest timing sector, unfortunately. Let's ride with Unscoot though through the Casio triangle, trying to maximise this one. He was early on the power. Unscoot going to stretch that lead. Will he to the lead? It is now a 27.5, a fantastic time from him. Ricky though, so far still no update on his time. We're going to wait till the very end of the session to find out what that's going to be. It is a 1/4 of a second higher for Merckx as well. This is going to be absolutely on the ragged edge. That was a slight correction through the first part of the Casio triangle. I don't think Merck's going to do it unless he's performed an absolute miracle. Merck goes through on a 0.580, slightly slower, but only by 0.04 of a second from Unsku. What can Ricky Marou do as he comes to try and get in the mix in the top, the front row of the grid? Ricky plants it in 6th, doesn't go any faster this time out. ARL, though, is going quicker and by enough to pip his teammate. He'd love to start ahead of his teammate and be a powerhouse here for VCarb, defending P4 and 5 for VCarb goes ARL, but over the line he lost time in that final sector. The last one to cross the line will be Davy Norris, finishes 6th place, didn't change position there, but a fantastic qualifying session from these drivers. What a tight race we have in store for us if this is to be believed. Unsku versus Merckx, 36 thousandths of a second is all that's separated, but Unsku with the bragging rights and the pole position and the outside line on the way into turn 1. Merckx into second place as Bjorn is in 3rd place. Our Epic Melon Fruit here in the live chat is in 3rd place, 0.3 of a second off the lead only. Then Ricky Marou and ARL beating himself up, but honestly, I don't think you're stupid for setting a 28.0 there in qualifying. Davy Norris, son of Chuck Norris, is in 6th position with Speedy Spud in 7th, Floyd Pink in 8th, Milan in 9th, Atsu in 10th, and Sticky at the back at the moment on a 29.3 in 11th place. Well, we will look forward to the final double points finish of our season, and we will be back with you very soon. For those of you who are watching on the live at the moment, or before Monday or Tuesday of the week following, by the time I've had a chance to edit the video, I'll give you an update. For those of you who are watching live, we should be 25 past the hour. In 7 minutes time we will go live, so I will see you on the other side of that. Grab a drink, grab a snack, have a think about who is going to triumph here in the final race of the season, and I'll be back on the other side with the race. Okay, it's time to go racing. We had a very quick run there. I didn't get an announcement. It's 5 lights on. It's time to go racing. It's drop the clutch and go for our double point season finale. Looks like Merckx away incredibly well. Lots of drivers caught napping there. Unsku down to 3rd position. I wonder if there's a tyre differential at play as several drivers go very wide through the first section of the racetrack. The McLaren of Sticky right at the back of the grid. Ricky Marou and ARL still in 4th and 5th position respectively, but Unsku down to 3rd position overall, as I'll try and get you some tyre information. Yeah, Unsku indeed on the hard tyre, and that is what has happened. Would explain his difference there from the race start. Down 2 positions. Floyd Pink down just 1, now 2 positions at the back of the grid, and that leaves him with just in front of Sticky, and Merck the Messler straight into 1st position, Beyond Burt into 2nd place. Both of those drivers though on the medium tyre, so as the advantage will wear off throughout the course of this stint. It's lap 1 of 27, and Unsku is really struggling to get these tyres into condition. The VSC is definitely going to help him though, and we've had an incident with the Haas of Speedy Spud at the back of the grid, and he has ended up struggling through our hairpin. He's lost a front wing. That's not going to help his motivation to race today. So don't be surprised to see Speedy Spud head on in to the pits and potentially retire. Let's go back to the front of the grid in case we go green flag racing straight away, and it's going to be gloves off immediately. There will be some debris on the circuit. The drivers though running at VSC speeds at this point. You can see on the grid, and it's green flag racing as we start lap 2. It's a good advantage then for Ricky Marou launching one against Unsku. Ricky will be dead keen to not allow Bjorn and Merck to make this a 2-horse race at the front of the grid. Further back though, son of Chuck Norris is in 6th and chasing down, being chased by Milan at the moment, who is looking for points in this championship to finish 3rd, I think, overall in the Drivers' Championship, but down in 7th place right now. It's just Speedy Spud and Unsku. Spud has changed tyres onto the medium tyre then at the back of the grid. So he is going to keep going for us as Bjorn de Boer is in second position. It's those double points that's keeping drivers running. And Bjorn is right on the heels of Merck the Merciless. Merck looking for race number 12 of 13 Grand Prix starts. And 12 of our total 16. Absolutely incredible record so far. And Ricky was just remarking in the driver chat that the way to beat Merck is to continually invite people until someone can beat him. Bjorn could be that guy. Maybe it's Unsku today. Our newcomers to the league, but the level has definitely been raised in this third season, and especially as the physics handling has taken effect. The new physics update has definitely affected some drivers better than others. Sadly, Moist has not been quite on the pace as he has been in the first two seasons. Couldn't quite take it to Mert, who has been a revelation so far. Ricky sets the fastest lap of the race as Bjorn now with the DRS is having a look here. Merck not defending too hard into the first corner. And looks like Floyd losing out to Sticky at the back of the grid. So that's Floyd in 10th. Sticky promoted to 9th there with an overtake. Speedy Spud a long distance away. Didn't really gain, having pitted just as the VSC was rescinded for his damage repair. I imagine there was a problem in the hairpin earlier on. But here is the closest battle, and it happens to be for the lead on our grid. And we'll be looking for that DRS on the backstretch here. Merckx with another lockup in front of Bjorn. So we'll see if Bjorn, with the single score so far. Sorry, Unsku was with the single score and outscoring several midfield drivers in their championship total, humbling our full-timers here. But Bjorn de Boer in that second place now with the DRS after the left-hander of 130R. We'll see if that is actually enacted on the racetrack. No, it's not in activity, I don't think. Or maybe it was. We'll see. A bit closer with a better camera angle next time. But he'll certainly get it here. A quarter of a second only away from Merckx. It might need a little bit of energy deployment here. Merck not fighting it early doors, and they're used to racing each other, these two. Not necessarily in this league, but in many others, I'm sure, as Bjorn is very keen here to put one onto Merckx. Not quite as keen, I don't think, on a Sunday night at 8 as Ricky Moreau, who has been frustrated all championship long by the performance of Merckx. Ricky on the medium tyre, so is ARL, who has also got past Unsku recently, and my apologies for missing that while we saw a change for the lead. Unsku, though, generating a little bit of grip now, I think, at this stage. Let's go and have a look as Unsku in between ARL and the Alpine of the medium shod son of Chuck Norris. So Unsku, the only driver on the hard tyre. He will be quick at the end of this race, but the leaders are getting away from him at this stage. He's going to have to rein that in, and that DRS will help now, the DRS train, because he's the first car with the DRS profit in the chain. Merckx 0.4 of a second away from Bjorn. We'll cut to him as they head towards the start-finish straight, because I don't think he's going to launch one. There's no real need to launch a move, but he's got nothing to lose at this stage of the championship. He has been defending essentially a championship lead for so long, but now he can fight with the gloves off. Can Merckx? He's already secured the title, so he can now just throw everything at the win. We'll see if he can change for the lead now at the start of lap 5. Looks like he's got a good run here. Bjorn not indicating that he's going to weave to the inside. Merckx clean through, and a slightly more competitive situation further back. That's ARL Unsku, the Alpine of Davey, defending from the Williams, actually succeeding in defending from the Williams, which was no mean feat here as the front two wind their way uphill through the snake and towards Dunlop Corner, the final left-hander of that first sector. And Merckx leads us by a quarter of a second ahead of Bjorn de Boer, as Ricky Moreau cannot seem to match the pace of these drivers at this stage of the race. Maybe keeping something under his hat here for later on. He has broken the DRS train from the DRS barrier from behind, the invisible 1 second barrier behind him from ARL, so no trouble from him. However, he might do well to try and use ARL, and they could leapfroggy with each other on DRS to try and catch these two. However, they're kind of doing the job, are Merckx and Bjorn de Boer, as they head down the backstretch once again. Let's have a look down further down in the grid as Unscoot has just been gapped slightly here by ARL, but himself stretching his advantage over David Norris. I never quite know how to refer to son of Chuck Norris. And I heard another good Chuck Norris fact this week was that ghosts gather around the campfire and tell Chuck Norris stories. So just more information for you there about the legend of Chuck Norris. No move this time from Bjorn de Boer as the next runners with the DRS come through, and looks like the livery is alternating on the Alpine. I don't think they have quite the budget for the McLaren alternating liveries, but keep your eye on the section between the cockpit and the nose cone as it goes black, white, depending on how the game is going to render that particular part of the livery. Another good little feature of the of F1 24, shall we say, as Merckx runs through 1/4 of a second. Still the advantage here. But Bjorn de Boer looks like he has the pace to ride and run with Merckx. But Merckx typically at the end of his stint, and particularly into his second stint, is usually absolutely lightning fast. Let's see how the medium tyres wear through, though. Has Unscoot played a blinder in that 5th position with his strategy? In fact, looks like he's catching ARL now at a inconvenient part of the track, you would have to say. As let's ride on board with Unscoot. Great traction. It does look like the medium tyres are already dropping off, but that was a bit of ERS deployment as well, I think. And that was Unscoot through then back into 4th place from where he was in 5th earlier on. Will we see a move from Davey and Milan? Not quite. But up ahead then as they run into starting lap 7 of 27. Bjorn's lead was 7/10 of a second. It will get down to 3/10 as they head into turn 1, but no way through at this stage. Here comes ARL having a little look down the inside, but that was too little, too late from ARL. It's very important for VCARB to secure the Constructors' Championship. They have been targeting that from about round 6, I think, when the order of the drivers' situation seemed to become apparent and obvious to them. I think the target number 1 was the Constructors' title from very early on, and they have been driving a great championship so far. But they are up against Merckx and Atsu in the Kick Sauber today with the double points on offer. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that they get overtaken right at the very end of our season. Of course, Merckx doesn't need the points for the win of the race today, but he'd love the record of 12 wins from 16 Grand Prix in a season. Not just that, but 12 from 13 actual official starts. Merckx 3/10 of a second in front here as they head through the backstretch. We've got Ricky Marou, a little bit of no man's land, but Unscoot catching Ricky into the DRS zone now. We'll see if there's a change for the lead on the way through this time. They're very close, 3/10, make it 4 as they finish the traction run out of the Casio Triangle and through the last curve. And I think Bjorn de Boer is going to have the overspeed, but the straightaway is running out as they head down here. This then a chance for son of Chuck Norris to have a go. And there you saw the livery change on camera very clearly. As there seems to be a bit of a temporary livery on the Alpine, but still no way through for the Alpine nor for Milan behind him, as it looks like starting to slide around in the snake slightly is the Alpine as well. I'm kind of obsessed over that cockpit sort of pedal box area of the car and the stickers peeling off and then being reapplied as the camera takes effect through the lap. Speedy Spud has overtaken Sticky, I think, because of a pit stop. Sticky in the pits, slightly unscheduled there, I think, but fitting the hard tyres very early after just 8 laps. And here then comes Bjorn de Boer. It couldn't be much closer as they head down the backstretch. He's actually going to have to lift off the throttle through here to avoid running into Merckx. Little point in making the overtake unless you can do it from behind and at the DRS detection zone, because you'll never resist another driver coming down the main straight after a quick overtake, unless you do it on the final lap. Here we go then for Bjorn de Boer for another retake of the lead. So into the lead for the second time, Bjorn, for the Mercedes team, and a great overtake. Well earned, that one. You really have to earn that DRS here around Suzuka, because it is so tight and twisty, and the dirty air effect from following the car in front is so great through these fast sweepers, mid to high speed corners that make up much of the lap. It is they are torturous for both the softer compounds of tyres and for lap time and staying close enough to keep that DRS zone. You really need to be 0.4 of a second or closer on the way out, because the start-finish straight isn't particularly long for them, and they really only get to use that DRS in that one section of the track. Could they use it through this 200R corner? I would say so. Could they use it out of Spoon before 130R? Definitely. Is there any point in having it after 130R? I don't think so. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake from Ricky, who has gone wide and allowed Unsku through. So Ricky running wide. That looked like a retirement from Sticky into the pits as well. Or was that actually at the end? No, it's a full safety car from that. So we will expect to see the medium runners into the pits, I would imagine here. Through Casio Triangle they go, down to the safety car Delta. And actually, look, Bjorn de Boer has extended a good lead, but Merck picks it all back up again on the way into the pit lane. Unsku in from the hard tyres. That's not great for Unsku. Surely the hard tyre was the way to carry on the correct run, because he's not going to get medium tyres a further 17 laps on their own. So it's not going to make it a one-stop. You see the stepped gradient of the pit lane here in Suzuka. Where the mechanics will often race paper boats down the pit lane, but everybody in the pits at the front of this grid, full safety car then, which has come out, of course, at the head of the field, because we do have Bernd Mailander, virtual Bernd Murlock Mailander, so he comes out to pick up the leaders. Speedy Spud will be glad of this. He's guaranteed 2 points today, and of course if you can get the fastest lap, he gets an extra 2, as does anybody who manages to secure that fastest lap. But that means Unsku's come out on the medium tyres. He's kind of relying on there being another safety car later on, because he's at least he's going to have to put softs on at the end of the race. He cannot get mediums. Looking at the wear rate on the medium tyres, drivers were starting to lose the car. I do not think he'll get 17 green flag laps. Well, say 15 green flag laps out of the medium tyres. If you think differently and you're watching live, let me know. But here then is your grid order then on lap 27 while we're under the safety car. Bjorn de Boer leads us. Second time in the lead of the race from Merck to the Merciless, new champion of Season 3. We have Ricky Marou in third position and Unsku out in fourth. Son of Chuck Norris, Davey Norris, Captain Nike in P5, ARL in P6, with Milan in 7th, in 8th, Floyd Pink, and in 9th, Atsu, and in 10th at the back, but catching the safety car train is Speedy Spud, now with a complete car, and but racing unwell, trying to secure points for Haas in the championship here, and clear things up for them. Let's just talk to you again about the Constructors' Championship, as long as the safety car lights stay on as they go through here. Yes, indeed. So prior to the race, Visa RB or VCARB have 385 points. So it is achievable for Kick Sauber on 346 to overcome them with a double point finale, but it's a narrow opportunity at best here. Aston Martin 193 could be caught by Haas, but we'd have to have Speedy Spud put in a tremendous result. I think Haas trying to secure fourth rather than get fifth, but Haas have 163, Williams 151, McLaren 117, Ferrari 45, Mercedes 79, so Ferrari 85, Mercedes 79 could obviously overcome Ferrari because they are not represented here in the finale. Red Bull 9, ninth place on 46, and Alpine on 38 points. Any tight Drivers' Championship position differences? Well, I would say we've got Milan could get moist at the end. That's Captain Nike off the circuit. That is son of Chuck Norris spilling the car on cold, hard tyres through the Degners and has dropped to almost the back of the grid. Speedy Spud is not allowed to make the overtake there, so that's why he didn't once the Alpine has recovered. AJ could get a position over Milan here. Only 9 points the difference between AJ and Milan. Then we could see, well, we will see Bjorn de Boer almost certainly beating Ole, but possibly even Alpha Alex as well. And that would be quite something after only 9 races total for Bjorn. So just over half the season. Then in the bottom half of the draw, obviously it's very much all to play for. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap, but lots of close running in the final, in the lower half of the draw. So we could see Unsku jump up a significant amount of places before the end of this race. It is lap 11, and we have Bjorn leading Merckx, leading Ricky Marou, and Unsku with ARL right there a little bit. That was a bit of kick Sauber of Atsu's front wing going flying as they concertina and are slowed to a great degree down into the Casio triangle. He's slow away out of the corner, but up front we've got a full-on battle here. Ricky Marou in third position, tailing Moist, who has a very slow run down into turn 1 and 2. Unsku has to make hay here while he's got the medium tyres and everyone's on cold, new, hard tyres, as Unsku really could do with making a couple of overtakes very early on if he wants a chance at getting these tyres home by the time they reach the end of the stint. And if we do go green flag racing right to the end of this race, Unsku is right on the bubble to be able to drag those medium tyres all the way home. He may need to rely on some DRS usage before the end of the race in order to make that a possibility. But the front four go into the corner almost separated by less than a second, all four of them. ARL slightly slower away than Unsku thanks to the difference in tyres. Unsku hassling and hounding Ricky Marou's third place, but Ricky's eyes are very much forward. You are allowed to run slightly over the white line through Spoon on the outside of the corner because you're gaining no lap time at all. Here comes Ricky Marou then, side by side with great rival Merckx and new world champion Ricky on the inside. Can't quite run the same level of speed. He's going to be boxed in though thanks to the Mercedes of Bjorn de Boer braking on the normal racing line. Possibility of the tiniest element of front wing coming off Ricky Marou's car thanks to Merckx, and now they get DRS enabled and it is absolutely anybody's guess. Unsku promoted, Merckx going through as well at the same time. 2 overtakes happening just half a second separated as Atsu's retired from the race. That means a caution in the sector. Atsu has pitted to retire. It is not a threat of a safety car, except that it is. And a safety car has been called because we've had another accident just after the retirement. That is now Chuck Norris missing an entire front wings, leaving debris on the racetrack. I believe Atsu's car will be circulating, so the safety car has come out again. Does that buy time then for Unsku to come in for a set of hards to finish the race? But I think what that does is cool. He's got a small heat cycle through the medium tyres. Now he needs to go super high gear and tiptoe around on the medium tyres. And that was absolutely perfect for Unsku, frankly, to just cook the tyres for a lap and then get them to cool again. Should extend their life as a tiny amount and probably enough to allow him to get them all the way home. His restart was great. He's got 1 position. He's got 2 more positions to overtake in front to get back the front of the grid that he lost right at the start, thanks to starting on the option hard tyre strategy. As you can see there in the background, ARL weaving around to get his tyres up to temperature. Once again, the drivers, the field has spread considerably. I don't know. Yeah, I think I was going to say I don't know if Davy Norris can get round. He's still got to pit. More pit stops coming in. One of them is Bjorn from second position. He fancies a set of mediums to go home. So that's another position gain then for Unsku. A freebie from Bjorn who's going to lose several positions there pitting. But he fancies being on the back of the top 5. Let me just go back into this and see. So Sticky, who has retired, will not pick up any points today. He will be vulnerable from even Floyd Pink, potentially, who has a chance of overtaking him in the championship. There are 10 points separating Floyd Pink and Sticky. Captain Nike could get Floyd Pink, but would rely, I think, on a big turn-up for the books here. Atsu out of the race. Unsku on 18 points. If he were to secure a further 18, it would be quite special here to move up the order. He could end up several places higher than he's been so far in the season. Chuck Norris, likewise, could also overtake Atsu today in the championship. Sorry, Chuck Norris isn't here, only his son, so scratch that. But Milan, currently in 8th place, vulnerable to AJ. Only 9 points separate those two. So 9-point difference between ARL and Milan is possible today, thanks to the double points finale. Lap 14 of 27. We have 9 runners remaining here for you, as we will have overcast conditions to the end of the race, at least if the forecast is accurate. Sometimes it's obviously the Japanese Grand Prix is run quite late in the day at kind of 4 or 5 p.m. local time, and that can often lead to the dew point in the cloud cover reaching, and a sprinkle of rain at the end of the session might be possible depending on the rain conditions, but we will see. I think we will be dry, but it's certainly very overcast, but fairly light coloured clouds. It doesn't look too dark at this stage. We are well into the second half of the race now as we wait for Bernd Mailander to finish his duties, hopefully for the day. I would like it if our sim platforms allowed us to just select a safety car once, maximum once, in a race, because once is fun, twice or 3 times, quite a bit less so, you have to say. But this is really fascinating. Bjorn with the pace to run at the very front of our field has now fitted the medium tyres. He's got a bit of work to do. Unsku himself will also be on a great tyre, as he made that decision earlier on. But Bjorn's mediums will be even younger and fresher and ready to go. Floyd Pink, Speedy Spud, could have some speed at the start of this restart. I'm not sure they can hang with the top 4 or 5 drivers today, but maybe they can be a bit of a nuisance at the start. There you go, that's that black pedal box area of the Alpine once again. Maybe it's a sign of the times at Alpine, and their sponsors have only paid for half the race, and this is the best way of them showing. It's actually pretty dirty on track. You can see the V-carb scratched up and gravelly from the dust and detritus on the circuit, as we get a close-up view of the cars running so far. Just keeping those tyres warm. I'm surprised, honestly, to see Unsku doing this. And Ricky is certainly ready. The lights go out on the safety car. We're going to go running, hopefully to finish, as condensing the field is Mert at the head here. He will presumably launch mid-Casio triangle as they enter that Casio triangle now. The earliest opportunity is about now to go running, and we'll just ride on board with Ricky Moreau, waiting for Merck to hit the loud pedal, and he does so, and he catches the Aston Martin of Unskou slightly unawares, but Unskou's additional traction with the medium tyres allows him to go and make up for that slight hesitation. He was slightly too close even to Merck to react well, but it looks like the driver's fairly cleanly through the order then, and the Alpine at the back of the grid is right there, just behind Milan, and a tyre differential between those two could show itself in form of a pass coming up, potentially into the hairpin. We shall see. I don't think any of our leaders will try one into the hairpin. It would be a very risky prospect, but nothing really to lose back here for son of Chuck Norris. Here they come then through, and into the hairpin are our lead drivers as they all follow in through past Merck's tyre smoke, heading down from a lockup. Looks like the Alpine has lost time going through the Degners, and then running through, and round we go as Unskou looking the more aggressive, the closer of the front batch here. Perhaps though Bjorn de Boer going to risk an opportunity. Here he goes side by side, Bjorn. He's going to use some ERS deployment as well. He's already got the nose ahead. Unskou's going to the outside of the Casio triangle, and Unskou into the lead of our race. So from pole position, it's taken him 16 laps, about 4 safety car laps to get here. But he's finally back into the lead of the race, and if he can hold on up into turn 2, he should have the advantage going up the hill and be able to extend his lead thanks to the medium tyres and the traction on the rear of that Aston Martin with the planted medium tyres, the soft air compound, I should clarify. And on lap 17 of 27, immediately he has a visible advantage as the gap opens out through this really high demanding first sector of the race. However, later in the race is an opportunity, later in the track is an opportunity for Merck to re-catch. Oh, and he slides out of Degner 2, does Merck, and loses 2/10 or so. Bjorn de Boer, will he risk one down into the inside, into the hairpin? He doesn't quite have the grip or the speed difference, but this looks to be the next most likely move here from Bjorn de Boer. These cars will be fast now and slow at the end of our race, and roles will very much be reversed. But can Unskou open up the gap here that he needs? This is Bjorn de Boer, but presumably going to spend a bit of ERS as he did on the previous lap to pass the first of the V-carbs. He took a big risk on his track position, losing positions to pit and fit the medium tyres. Through the final section of the racetrack they go. I think Merckx is too far away. This though, Bjorn de Boer with the DRS. The car in front also has the DRS. We're going to pass him quite easily into the inside line. The overspeed sufficient and really good there from Bjorn, and he gets up into the lead. Merckx caught about 0.5 of a second down that start-finish line straight, but it wasn't enough. He's now going to have Bjorn right behind him, and Unskou has to hope here that Bjorn is going to be held up behind Merckx, because Unskou could well be in a position to try and fight for the win here. I think, though, that Bjorn has got the outright speed advantage over Unskou. It's just a matter of whether these two are slow each other in trying to make either a pass work or a defence work. Will that allow Unskou to get ahead? But Merckx is clearly concentrating on being in the slipstream of Unskou. Only 0.4 of a second. Bjorn could be in a position here to get both cars down the next start-finish straight if they come through the last curve in the same order as they are at the moment, or at least the same gaps. Here he comes then, Bjorn de Boer running down the inside line. Merckx not really defending, not quite as far right as he usually is until now. Through 130R we go, and tempted to have a look down the inside is Bjorn, because he would get DRS from the car further forward. There's another slide from Merckx. That's going to be really easy for Bjorn as we go on through. Bjorn then with the DRS, the two speeds kind of match. Merckx using the electrical deployment, though, risking it around the outside and holding on to his position. Nicely done from Merckx there. You have to say, though, Unscoop should be able to extend the gap here, but he can't spend too much of the tyre grip. There's another yellow flag. It's a third safety car, and we go again with the safety cars. We might just be in the soft tyre window, perhaps, for anyone who fancies a try. But another problem, I think that was potentially another front wing from Alpine. They are fast. Lost commentary audio. Testing. Thanks, Jay. I heard a beep in my ear, actually. Can you confirm for me? Am I back? Testing. Radio check. Thanks, Jay. Thanks a lot. I did hear a beep in my ear, which is a strange one. Into the pits come the leaders. Unscoop, Merckx, Beyond-a-Board goes through. Ricky Marou has stayed out. He's under safety car orders. So Ricky stays out. Oh, this is a big question mark now. Ricky on the hard tyres is staying out for track position. Bjorn has taken the lead of the race. Who fancies a set of softs to finish this race, I wonder? Let's see as they come out of the pits. It was almost like I hit a timer on my controller there. I'm on a wired mic, so don't run out of battery. Very strange. Not had that one before, but appreciate, guys, your attention there. Really, really grateful for everyone who takes the time to tune in and engage in the live stream. Always makes it better when you guys are here, and grateful to everyone for your continued support on the channel. If you're liking the video, if you're sharing, or a consistent subscriber, it helps tremendously. Anything you can do to help me raise my watch time on the channel as well would be, it's lagging behind my subscription progress, if you know what I mean. So anything that's available, if you have the ability to share the channel, I would be super grateful. If you've got a good following, or if you've just got a handful, it'd be awesome. This is then finishing out the International Racing League season here on the channel. Future season 4 details yet to be agreed or announced, but if you are a subscriber, SimRacing season is never really over. I have to forcibly stop during periods either of illness or family needs, but otherwise I would commentate multiple times a week, every week. But on the channel you will continue to see the likes of Deviant Racing League and SVR, as well as guesting for the International Racing Organisation coming up, and other channels as they happen. So I will keep everybody aware of what's happening by the community tab on the on YouTube. But hopefully we'll be back with season 4 of International Racing League. I mentioned earlier that there may be a new league of the very popular League of Destruction in the off season, which features a number of the drivers here. It's Ricky Marou's pet project, but hopefully with some new forms of no rules racing, different race lengths and different opportunities. Most intriguing is an option to try and protect your AI teammate and get them home to a finish. So you're racing for your teammate to get the car home and be a rear gunner for them. But that promises to be something quite special. And do check out League of Destruction. We held 3 nights of races with no rules before this season. That's all available on a playlist on this channel as well. Beyond-a-Board leads us then with 6 complete laps to run ahead of Ricky Marou on the older medium tyres, and Floyd Pink in 3rd position. That could be a fantastic way to finish the season if Floyd can hold on to that. He has Speedy Spud just behind him, and then a couple of, 3 very quick drivers directly behind him on new medium tyres. Unsku, Merckx and ARL should get a good launch. They have risked everything here. Unsku and Merckx. Unsku took so long to get back in the lead of this race, and then gave it up at the next opportunity. But, of course, he was going to be stretching those mediums to a finish. I'm surprised no one at the back decided to try the softs here for a run. They might only do 4 laps at speed, but it'd be fun while it lasted here at the season finale. Hopefully now the safety car will come in and we'll get a few green flag laps and avoid a 4th safety car period. That would be almost a record for what is a very, very clean league traditionally here. And we'll join Floyd Pink here in 3rd position. We have similar tyre wear to the leader. We have a much better opportunity to restart. Here goes the Mercedes. Slow jump, actually. That's quite clever to just increase the speed first at a constant rate. But here we go then for the final 5 laps of the season, and the drivers speeding on down the start-finish straight. Merckx, unfortunately for him, has Unsku, another fast driver, just in front of him. So he will kind of have to either overtake quickly or try and follow him for the first part of this final 5 laps. Comes down to a 5-lap sprint here at the International Racing League after 16, in the 16th race of our 3rd season. Through Degner 1 they go on the 3rd restart. No, that's not right. Is it 2nd restart? 3rd start overall. And Unsku looking for the outside line, putting a big risk. What opens the door wide there for Merckx as ARL is looking to sniff around for an opportunity as well. But Merckx through, didn't quite get Speedy Spud, but ARL in 7th place right now, and in front of them Speedy Spud and Floyd Pink, who Floyd struggling a little bit out of spoon on the older medium tyres. Ricky Marou has already been gapped by Bjorn de Boer on the hard tyres, and he would just be hoping that Bjorn's laps drop off. Here comes Speedy past Floyd Pink, using no DRS, but presumably a bunch of ERS. Merckx goes all the way down the inside, is fully crossed up, damages his car, might have damaged the Haas in front as well, and certainly Speedy Spud, trying to get points for his team at the end of this race, will be a little bit aggrieved by a fairly desperate-looking move from our brand-new world champion. Here comes ARL. Unsku in 7th has lost out to ARL as they run through here. He puts the nose in danger through turn 2, and it's all kicking off here in a traditional lobby 5-lap race, which feature frequently in our league. The drivers frequently practice flappers in the midweek, in between races, just for a laugh. It's a great place to find friends and get some brutal banter at the same time here at the International Racing League. So there should be a link in the description if you want to try and join. Ready for season 4, and Merckx is looking very, very desperate indeed. Ricky, again, there's contact from Merckx heading into the corner. He looks like he's going to have some front wing damage on the car as heading through comes ARL. The V-Cub's being a bit battered and bruised here. ARL has the inside line into Spoon, and that is Unsku getting crossed up, getting sideways as he clatters into Floyd Pink, our former fastest drivers in this race. Starting to look a little bit crazy out there. Floyd Pink has gone down from 3rd down to the back of the grid in 8th position, and Merckx is hot on Ricky Marou's heels. Ricky would absolutely love to finish ahead of Merckx if he can't secure the win today. Excuse me a second. Here comes Merckx then with the DRS advantage over Ricky. Not much Ricky can do to fight this one off. Merckx is absolutely desperate to win here today, but the stewards might be looking at some of his manoeuvres with a raised eyebrow or two later and after the post-race. So he might be wanting to try and get himself up the order and clear in case of any penalties later on. I think he's probably just on the legal side of proceedings so far. Looks like ARL losing out that time to Unsku and Milan, who goes up to 5th place. Merck then still now very much on the hunt for for winning the finale of this season. Milan in 5th position, Unsku in 6th. ARL down in 7th, but still VCARB scoring highly enough here to try and hold on to that lead of the Constructors title overall. And I think that probably crossed Ricky's mind when Merckx was getting elbows out, if I can put it politely. Here comes Unsku chasing him down. Merckx is just 1/4 of a second away from Bjorn de Boer. Will he actually risk it down into the Casio triangle for a famous overtake? Bjorn doesn't want to let that one go. They do touch, I believe, and Merckx muscles his way through once again. Another move with a tiny bit of contact, certainly at first glance. Milan lost out that time and down to 8th position now, and Merckx is 3/10 of a second, 4/10 of a second clear. And a few drivers will be shaking their head here at what they can do to try and stop Merckx from winning and winning and winning. And I won't say that 13 times to bore everybody rigid. No, it would be the 12th win potentially today if he can secure it. 12th Grand Prix win, not counting sprints, for Merckx, which would set a new record and possibly an unassailable record here at the International Racing League. It is lap 25 of 27. Bjorn, I imagine, very much would like to get this position back, but he can't quite do it. ARL profits and gets past both Speedy Spud with Unsku chasing on. So ARL up to 4th. That's 3rd and 4th for VCARB. It could be a very impressive finish for the season for these two. ARL was doom and gloom coming into the race, so was Ricky, but a 3rd and 4th for the team would be a very, very good reward for some persistent racing. Unsku and Speedy Spud bang wheel sidewalls, tyre sidewalls as it were, through the Spoon corner, and now Merckx might be vulnerable here, but Bjorn fighting with one hand tied behind his back with a reduced amount of grip on those older medium tyres that he's going to struggle to get home. It's 2 laps to go of the season. Merckx leads by half a second, but it is not all done anywhere down our grid thanks to a 3rd late safety car. Here is Speedy Spud then, 3/10 of a second away from 5th place of Unsku. So let's see if this will be the way things finish for our drivers in this position. Speedy Spud, Floyd Pink, all on 12 lap-old mediums, just the same as Bjorn de Boer, not going for the pit stop during the last safety car procedure, and perhaps going to be regretting that choice. Merckx leads by just 2.5, now 2/10 of a second. Bjorn is doing a tremendous job here of staying with Merckx, as Ricky lets ARL put through, in fact, for a potential podium. Is that allowing him through, or was that a mistake? It looks like we've missed that, but 16 lap-old hard tyres on Ricky Marou. I would suggest Ricky probably releasing ARL to get an end-of-season podium for all of his hard work and protect the best result possible for the team. Allow ARL to get a gap, play the blocker, play the Magnussen seat essentially for Ricky here today. And he might want to have words with me for comparing him to Magnussen. I'm sure it's not going to be quite that situation. He's definitely fighting a losing battle though. Unsku comes through and gets in between the two VCARBs, so there's a limit to what Ricky can do now. Looks like Merckx is just stretching away, not out of DRS zone just yet, as Ricky gets the DRS, and ARL tries to play the block there, but it didn't quite work out. He almost let Ricky through past both of them, but it just wasn't quite timed perfectly, as with 1 lap to go then, less than 1 lap to go. This is lap 27 of 27, and the final lap of our fantastic, elongated, longest season ever here at International Racing League. And thank you so much for watching for so long and being so faithful a viewership on the channel, as Bjorn de Boer goes fully sideways into the hairpin, Let's see if our drivers following will have a similar run through. Oh, it's so treacherous down there. It's low grip at the best of times, that hairpin, but late in the race on old tyres. And that's very wide from Merckx. We don't have many steward warnings on the card. That is a big tank slapper from Merckx on the way out of Spoon 2. This could close things right up as they head down in towards 130R for the final time. We'll see if anyone's got any electrical energy left. It looks like Merckx is the guy with the most here to finish out. Merckx, the merciless, comes through the Casio triangle to complete his 13th Grand Prix win of the season, 12th Grand Prix win of the season to finish off and secure 12 from 13 starts and a second place to boot. Bjorn de Boer in second, Unsku clearing away into third position as the V-Carbs come through to finish up. ARL ahead of Ricky Marou, but they won't be happy with fourth and fifth after a podium was on for them. And that is closing out our race. Unfortunately, I didn't get all the way through the order. Speedy Spud managed to cross the line and finish sixth place in the pit lane. Unsku got the driver of the day. Weird, because he started on pole position and actually, in the end, lost places overall. I wonder how that's one has worked out. Merckx with the Union flag. And wins again here, his 12th of the season. Can anybody stop him? They're going to have to work hard in the off-season here as he lifts the biggest trophy for the 12th time of asking, and he had the second biggest trophy for his only other start of the season. But great finish there overall. Ricky said tried to give ARL positions, but it backfired, so V-Carb did not feature on the podium. It was Merckx who completed win 12 and the fastest lap, but not the pole position overall. Bjorn in second position, finishing 1 second only away from great rival Merckx. And then Unsku down into third place after starting on pole. We go to ARL in fourth place for a hard-fought and well-earned point haul of 12, make that 24 for him individually. And that would be 44 for the V-Carb team overall today with Ricky. In fifth, we got Speedy Spud finishing sixth in the pit lane, plus then penalties for Floyd Pink, and Milan in seventh and eighth. Sadly, the son of Chuck Norris, Atsu and Sticky did not make the end of the race. I will leave the finishing championship position and points in the comments on the video. Perhaps you care to do similarly or leave your comments as well, but I'll put a spoiler at the top of mine to make sure no one sees it before they get us to the end. Well, thanks everybody, it was worth waiting for. Thanks Rick, and we will catch you on the next race day.